Hook choice is up to yourself. I'm using a medium wire hook. This is the Full and Mill. It's a size 12. It's the all-purpose medium. Thread I'm going to be using is the black and Uni and 80. Now you can use other colours. Use a red or a fire orange, which would highlight the head a bit. I'm just going to use the black. Now we start at the eye. Now we've waxed the threads, I say, just to make sure. Plenty of grip. I'm going to use a silver tinsel. This is a small silver tinsel. Now the rib can change. It can be pearl. Pearl's very popular. You could even use a red. You could use this. I say this is a tinsel. You could use a wire. You could use both, even pearl and wire, to protect it. There's different ways you could do the body or do the rib. Now I'm using this is a black seal's fur. You could use an SLF. Use whatever you have. And a dry fly possum is really good. So I'm just going to wind this up, forming a nice body. Tighten when I need to, when I want the body to be a wee bit tighter. So basically you're looking 2/3 of the way up. Then the option here is we can rib it just now and then put the red on, or you can, what I'm going to be doing is putting the red seal's fur on and then rubbing it, so coming over it. So just dub it on, slide it up. This is quite, you could have a light dressing, you can have a heavy dressing, you can have it far looser than this, much like a Bob's Bits. Dial it up to yourself. I'm going to bring up the rib. That's 3, 4, to your 5th turn or so, stroke back. Now before you bring up your last turn, just pull back any fibres going forward. Use that to hold them back and then catch it in. Nice and tight, and then with it being tinsel, bend and break it off. So that'll save your scissors. Now you could slightly bring out some of the dubbing with just a bit of Velcro here. Just watch your thread though. And the Velcro, it could break your thread. Now before we tie in anything else, put a wee bit of wax on your thread. Now as I say, the legs were golden pheasant tippet. This is the tippet here, dyed red. I'll show you the natural. It's best to show you what a natural looks like if you haven't seen it before. Just get into my bag here. Now that's the natural there. You see it's an orangey colour, obviously, and then this one's been dyed red. You can get these dyed in lots of colours, and it's worthwhile just dyeing in the natural as much as it is the dyed, because the natural does work. So anyway, I've taken off one of the feathers, so removed the fluff. Now to get a kind of right and left side, or an even split, I'm going to cut the stem in the centre. Do it better, a wee bit better than that. That's how you do it. I'll just show you. There you go. So I've got, you're looking round about maybe 3 to 4 fibres either side, much like if you represent a leg in any fly or any insect anyway. So you're looking for basically making sure these are kind of lined up. Having a right and a left makes it easier to tie in and keep them together. All I'm doing here is making sure the tips have lined up. Now I'm going to tie these so they're going to be underside. So what I do is from the top, put them down either side of the shank towards the back of the, it can be as short as long as you like, it could be within the hook or just slightly at the back. I'm just going to, basically just to the back of the hook in my case. So I'm going to hold the legs and come round with a couple of turns, and then you can encourage them to sit underneath. If you want them to be more together, then just push them in. If you're happy with that, which I am, tighten up and trim away the waste. Again, a wee touch of wax. Now for the hackle I'm using, this is a saddle hackle dyed black. Now you see you can change it to a wet fly, you can use a hen hackle. You can always, there are other things you can do. You can, the good mix of a grizzle and the black would work well. Even if it's a wet fly, you could use a grey partridge, or even a grizzle hen. It will work. Give the impression, the grizzle will give the impression of a wing as much as legs. So what I've done is I've taken away some of the fibres off the stem of the feather, just so I can tie it in. And then I'm going to wind the hackle, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fold the hackle and wind on the stem. So basically you're getting a doubling up on your hackle, winding down, one turn in front of the other. These saddles, you can do that really, really good. Wind right towards the eye, don't be shy. Then come across your thread. I like to put in 2 or 3 turns and fold it back. Now what I'm doing here is just going to build up the head, just ignoring everything. Put in a few turns, always keep the thread nice and tight. And then obviously the fibres are laying back slightly. Whip finish, you can always bring them back out, trim away thread, trim away your hackle, bring out the hackle fibres if you want. Once you start to fish this, they'll lay back slightly, but there we are, and that's your red-legged Bibio in the, I would say, the Tasmanian or Australian style. And then all we have to do, a wee bit of varnish. Now what I like to do is just varnish practically onto the eye and let it just work your way up to the thread, and rotate the hook if you can on your vise. You want your fly to last, so don't be shy. You don't want to flood the fly. And then there we are. And then I'm just going to use a bit of wire here just to make sure the eye's clean. There we go. And that's your red-legged Bibio. So anyway, thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time.